change when you go from offensive coordinator to being the head coach? Like you said, there's only one ball.
It doesn't change all that much. I do think that after the season that we had with Dwayne, the interest level is at an all-time high. People are very, very excited about what we're doing on offense. The quarterbacks are very, very excited about getting into this offense, and so that's exciting. That's fun to have that opportunity. But still going to be very, very involved with that as we move forward, and so that's exciting.
Well, that was kind of my second question. Was I know you can sell Dwayne, Heisman finalist, record setter, all that kind of stuff, but when you're working with recruiting a quarterback, what's something behind that? How do you sell the relationship you have with Dwayne? Is that more important?
It's both. It's both. Obviously, you can say whatever you want, and people talk about theory, but the testimony for us is what happened this year. And you just look at the numbers and what happened in his sophomore year for a kid who had no college starts going into the sophomore year, and then in 13 starts he is where he is, and after an opportunity to possibly be a first-round draft pick and a Heisman Trophy finalist, and then look at all the records he broke in 1 year. I think it's a huge selling point.
Third row left, Colin.
Ryan, both former players and recruits have talked about the impact of Larry Johnson on them. So, Noah Potter said that he would go wherever Larry Johnson does. How big of a deal is it to have someone like him on your first staff?
Huge. Larry's he's a legend. I mean, he has a legacy here. And what he's done with the defensive line, obviously, again, that's testimony. And so there's defensive linemen all over the country that want to come to get coached by Larry Johnson, and you can see that again in this class. And the relationships that he builds are really, really important. But again, he develops the young men on the field and off the field is what's key.
Fifth row middle, Steve.
Hey, Coach. You're losing a lot of great skill position players off this team. Campbell, McLaurin. I know you didn't just shove freshmen into those spots, but you did recruit several pretty good wide receivers. Craig Young, athlete. Just you talk about those receivers, Wilson, Young, and those skill position guys that you're adding.
Sure. Yeah, we lose. Three really good wideouts and a lot of leadership in that room. They're going to leave a legacy though of hard work and leadership that's hard to replace. That being said, we think we're replacing them with some really talented young guys. Jamison Williams is a deep threat who has legitimate track speed. He can really go, comes from a great family, great program in St. Louis, so we're excited about him. We spoke about Garrett, and so those are two additions to the program that we think can have a major impact right away.
I want to also ask, talk about relationships with these prospects and how they gain that with their position coaches. I know you said after the Rose Bowl you're going to take a really hard, long look at this and see who will be on the staff next year. But it sounds like Brian Hartline obviously has been elevated, and Larry Johnson will be here. Beyond that, can you shed any light of what direction things may go and what you're looking for in the staff makeup?
Sure. We're very excited about Brian. He did a great job stepping in this year, and then he's doing a nice job here in recruiting. So that's a big hire for us. That's to get him elevated like that means a lot to our program. He's done a nice job with that. And other than that, the focus right now is his bowl game, and it was just recruiting because it takes every ounce of your energy every day. So that's the focus. But in terms of putting your staff together, the number one thing that we have to do as a staff is recruit. That's by far and above the number one thing as an assistant coach that you need to get done is recruit. And the second thing we talk about is power the unit, which is getting your guys to play hard, making sure that your unit is accountable to everybody in the room. And then the last thing is we start talking about scheme and what you're running on the field. So having the right pieces in your staff is very, very important.
Front row left, Doug.
Ryan, you guys were number 2 in the country in recruiting class the past 2 years. Obviously, you're talking about the individual star rating of this class is still very high. Philosophically, in terms of, you talked a lot about Ohio and how important that is, but in terms of going out and going after the best national guys, just can you describe a little bit philosophically what your recruiting style will be like, how you sort of felt as a head coach now doing this, and how will Ohio State be able to stay at a level where you're recruiting one of the 1, 2, 3 best classes in the country going forward?
Yeah, we're going to put a great, our staff is going to be one of the best recruiters in the country. That's the first thing. That's the first part of this thing as we move forward. And you know, when you know what Ohio State is all about, you understand the type of student athlete that we're attracting here right now. It's amazing. You know, we're beating some schools, you know, like Stanford and some really high academic schools. You know, Harry Miller was an example of that, where, you know, it was us and Stanford in the end, and he chose Ohio State. So Ohio State attracts everybody. They attract people from all over the country, and so that's a huge part of this thing. In terms of our program, like I said, we're going to put together a staff of great recruiters, and then we're going to do a great job of loving them up and understand that the culture that we're going to have here is one of love, where we're going to love our kids. They're going to enjoy coming into the building every day. They're going to have great energy, and they're going to be developed at the highest level. But the total package, and this isn't going to change, and this is why we're keeping the infrastructure the way it is right now, is that, you know, the most comprehensive program from A to Z, from academics to Real Life Wednesday program to Coach Mick and the strength program, all the way across the board, we think is the best in America. We're going to keep it that way.
Along those lines, what you found in these couple weeks, will it at all be a tough line to balance maintaining the continuity of what has been successful here while also establishing this is the Ryan Day head coach program, right? That you're not going to tear everything down, but you know, you've got to be you, right? What have you maybe learned in these couple weeks of how you're going to strike that correct balance?
Well, I think you trust your instincts on it, you know, and that I think there's no right or wrong way to do it. You know, you see the things that you think are really good, you look to enhance them. You see the things that maybe you want to change, and then you get them changed. It's not going to be all at once. The good news is there's so much in place right now that we can keep building on. And so I'm not just going to go about changing something that doesn't need to be changed yet. You know, there is going to be a lot of things that have my own personality to it that we are going to make adjustments on and look to enhance other areas. So it'll be a work in progress.
And last thing on quarterback recruiting specifically, you talked about what you guys did with this offense this year, what Dwayne did. That people noticed that, right? There's not a million Dwayne Haskins out there, but is this what you would like this offense to look like? And as you recruit quarterbacks going forward, is arm talent and the ability to throw the ball that Dwayne has done it, is that going to be near the top of the list of what you're looking for with quarterbacks? Or are you still very interested in quarterbacks who also have a real big run threat to their game?
I think the number one thing you look for is some sort of extraordinary trait. That's the number one thing you look for. From there's a whole nother list of things that we go through. Certainly arm talent, certainly our accuracy is a huge part of that. But the number one we want is some sort of exceptional trait. And JT had one, and Dwayne had one. And I think one of our strengths on offense is the ability to adjust the offense to fit the quarterback and to fit our personnel. And I think in college that's really, really important. Because sometimes if you're looking for a specific style, there may not be one in that class. So let's go find somebody that has some sort of extraordinary talent and then build around it. But that being said, being able to throw and accuracy is really high up on the list.
Got time for just a few more.